A sleek black SUV glided to a halt before the Grand Summit Hotel in Denver, Colorado. The tires whispered against the gravel driveway as the evening sky melted into shades of amber and slate. From the driver's side emerged Vanessa Mitchell, a 45-year-old African-American woman whose understated elegance spoke volumes. Worn leather loafers carried her across the pavement. A tailored blazer over a soft ivory sweater hinted at her discerning taste. A weathered canvas tote hung from her shoulder, devoid of ostentatious branding. No entourage accompanied her, just a CO seeking solace before an impromptu board meeting. Her desires were simple: a key, a bed, and perhaps a steaming shower. Fate, however, had scripted a different narrative. Inside, the lobby gleamed with polished marble and accents of muted gold, a symphony of soft conversations and the gentle clink of glassware filling the air. Vanessa approached the reception desk, where Emma Clark, a 24-year-old novice receptionist with a haphazard bun and chipped nail polish, barely lifted her gaze from the computer screen. Checking in. Mitchell, Vanessa articulated, her voice a blend of warmth and authority, a subtle smile playing on her lips. Emma's fingers paused mid-keystroke, her brow furrowing. "I'm sorry, Mom. We're fully booked tonight. Only confirmed reservations are being honored." Her tone was courteous yet firm, the kind employed to dismiss wanderers. Vanessa's smile remained unwavering. "There's always a suite held for me," she remarked casually, as if ordering her morning coffee. Emma blinked, a faint smirk tugging at her lips. "Not tonight, unfortunately." The atmosphere shifted. The gauntlet had been thrown. Vanessa stood her ground, her tote resting lightly against her hip. Emma leaned back in her chair, skepticism shadowing her youthful features. "No suite, no record. Perhaps you've mistaken the hotel," Emma suggested, her voice carrying the indifference reserved for lost tourists. Vanessa tilted her head slightly, her composure intact. "This is the Grand Summit, correct? My name is literally on it." Emma's smirk widened into a half-suppressed chuckle. "You're claiming you own this place?" Her disbelief was palpable, loud enough to draw glances from the lobby's patrons. A couple in coordinated sweaters paused their conversation, heads turning. A man nursing a whiskey at the bar raised an inquisitive brow. Vanessa felt the familiar sting of those looks, the silent judgments, the unspoken doubts. She remained unflinching. "Please call your manager," she requested, her voice as steady as ever. Emma hesitated, then, with a resigned sigh, reached for the phone. "Fine, but this is absurd." Moments later, Thomas Reynolds, a 38-year-old manager, emerged from a side office, tie askew and clipboard clutched defensively. "Good evening, ma'am. Is there an issue with your reservation?" His forced smile failed to mask the uncertainty in his eyes. "No issue," Vanessa replied, her gaze unwavering. "I'm Vanessa Mitchell. I own this hotel." Thomas blinked, caught off guard as murmurs rippled through the onlookers. He adjusted his tie, a nervous tick betraying his unease. "Right. Let's sort this out," he stammered, casting a glance at Emma, who now gnawed at her lip, uncertainty clouding her expression. The lobby's buzz dimmed as two security guards materialized, one near the glass doors, the other by the espresso machine, silent sentinels assessing the unfolding scene. Vanessa remained rooted, her loafers seemingly anchored to the marble floor. She had encountered this scenario before, the skepticism, the subtle power plays. This was familiar terrain. Without a word, she retrieved her phone from her tote, her thumb gliding over the screen with practiced ease. The call was brief, no more than 20 seconds. "This is Vanessa Mitchell at the Grand Summit, Denver. I've been denied entry to my own property. Please address this." Her tone was devoid of anger, laced instead with cold efficiency. She ended the call, slipping the phone back into her bag, and waited, arms relaxed at her sides. No pacing, no glaring, just a stillness that seemed to shrink the room. Thomas shifted his weight, his clipboard trembling slightly. "We'll need to verify that," he said, darting a glance at the guards. Emma's eyes narrowed, still unconvinced, as a woman in a fur-trimmed coat discreetly aimed her phone's camera at the scene. Vanessa sensed the escalating stakes and prepared to play her hand. The Grand Summit's lobby thrummed with a tense undercurrent as Vanessa stood by a sleek pillar, her silhouette sharp against the chandelier's glow. Emma's keystrokes grew more forceful, as if willing the computer to reveal a different truth. "Nothing under Mitchell," she muttered, loud enough for the couple by the bar to exchange knowing glances. Thomas returned from a hurried conference in the back, a stack of papers in hand, his brow glistening. "MS. Mitchell, we're just double-checking," he said, his voice a shaky blend of politeness and doubt. "Policy, you understand." Vanessa's eyes flicked to the Grand Summit logo etched in gold behind the desk, a brand she had painstakingly built. "Take your time," she said dryly, her composure unshaken. The guards lingered, one adjusting his earpiece, the other scanning the room as if anticipating her to flee. She remained a statue of patience, though inside, a familiar burn simmered, not at the delay, but at the presumption that she was an outsider in her own domain. A teenage girl in a denim jacket snapped a photo from the lounge, whispering to her companion. An older man with a briefcase feigned interest in his tablet, stealing glances. Emma scrolled through her phone under the counter, likely searching for evidence of Vanessa's bluff. Thomas cleared his throat, fumbling with his radio. "It's just protocol," he insisted, avoiding her gaze. Vanessa nodded once, her silence louder than their frantic efforts. The clock ticked, and they remained oblivious to the imminent reckoning. The elevator doors slid open with a soft chime, cutting through the strained quiet. Entering were Marcus Sullivan, 50, the regional vice president, his gray suit immaculate, and Javier Torres, 42, the district manager, his navy polo slightly rumpled. Their strides exuded urgency, jaws clenched, hands gripping devices. Vanessa recognized them instantly, a flicker of acknowledgement crossing her face. The lobby's chatter faded as attention shifted, sensing the change in dynamics. "MS. Mitchell," Marcus began, his voice low and clipped, bypassing Thomas entirely. "We deeply apologize. This is unacceptable." Javier chimed in, breathless. "Suite 1401 is ready. Car's on standby. Breakfast orders set. Your usual avocado toast and black coffee." Thomas stumbled forward, papers slipping from his grasp. "I was just verifying." Marcus silenced him with a glare sharp enough to cut glass. Emma's smirk vanished, her hands dropping to her lap as she registered the panic in their eyes. Vanessa's gaze swept the room, cool and deliberate. "It took one call," she remarked, her voice steady, almost amused.